Good afternoon, my name's Chris and I live on the island of Unst in the Shetland Islands. Well, after skip day we've got a few things to take apart, so got a couple of kind of maybe interesting things. We'll whip them apart and see what we get inside them. So this is what we have. I think they're power supplies, or backup power supplies, because it says they've got lead acid batteries in them. So that's my guess. I'm sure somebody will know. There's not actually any labels or anything that says what it is, but yeah. So we're gonna, these two are the same, so we'll take one of those apart. We'll get that one over there, and that hopefully will be exactly the same, and we'll whip off the screws. Got the drill sitting there, but do it the old-fashioned way. Means I'm not using any electric. It's getting that busy time of year again. Well, all times of the year are busy, but getting things done before the daylight goes. Come on then. We don't want to have to break you. Not that it matters, but I was hoping that would just slide out there. Oh, it might do. Something's stopping it on the top. There's not a screw in there, no. Alright. Go with the brute force way. There we go. There's going to be a screw in there somewhere. Is that attached to that? Sorry about my bald head. We're fixed on there, that's why. So undo the screw there, and that should come off. I really don't want you getting in these things these days. I'm sure there's an easier way. But, there we go. So we've got a tiny board in there. We'll whip that apart and see what is in there. And that should... Well, there's the battery. So I'm going to have a couple of those. Let's have a little weigh of that. It's quite heavy, so... That's 2.2 kilos exactly. So that would be nice. Something fell off the side there, but I'm not sure what it was. Let's get these. Oh, that's nice. Now, how is that fixed in there? We're still on screen. We're good. We're still on screen. Screws in that end. What a muppet. Yeah. I'll say if the screws weren't there, that would have pulled out nice and easily. Oh dear. It gets worse, doesn't it? I'm sure it gets any easier as you get older. In my defence, I've never taken one of these apart before. Right. Still. That is a big old transformer, that is. Nice. We've got some screws in there. Get that transformer out and we'll have a little weigh of that. Although a lot of the weight of that will be steel. There's a nice aluminium heat, a couple of aluminium heat sinks I can see on there, and some big IC chips. So that's nice. On the other side as well. That's okay, that can come out there. That can come out of there. That out of there. Right. That is a bit of a beast. Some nice copper windings in there. Nice thick copper. There's my knife. There's my knife. How many layers have you got for me? A few. Get a look in there to see. I'll show you what the copper's like inside. Over there, right. Oh yes. Look at that lovely copper. That feels like the whole thing is filled with that, so that's good. We'll just weigh the transformer, but obviously there's a big chunk of steel on there. That's coming in at 2.2-ish as well. So if we can get maybe half a kilo of copper out of that, I'll be happy. Let's pop that board off. Okay, we'll do it that way. You've got to be easier than that. We'll go that way then. That's easier. You try to do things nice and clean way and you're never rewarded. Just through there. The screws holding that on. Bits of steel, we'll take those bits of plastic off later. Right, let's have a look at this board. Right, so we've got 3 nice aluminium heat sinks. Obviously MOSFETs on those. And another one there. Got these lovely big IC chips on here, so they're nice. And each one of these will have a little spool of copper wiring, only thin copper cable, but so those will come off as well. And that's about it for that. See, burnt out there, so that's why it's been thrown. Yeah, there's no MLCCs or anything on there, but that's, yeah, we'll get some good stuff off there. So we'll have 2 of those as well. And then we've got just the switches and things there. They should just pop out, he says, because that's a plastic casing, so we don't want that. Am I still on that? Yeah, make sure I'm still on the camera because I can't see it from where I'm stood. Wouldn't want you to miss any of the action, obviously, because that is what scrapping is, all action. Why would you want to watch anything else? Like I said, they pop out nice and easily. There we go. I might be able to pull that one out that way. Is that going to come out? Yes. Yes. And there's nothing else in there, so that can stay there. Hopefully that one's going to do the same. Just about. That's a much easier way of doing those. So they can stay in. Come out of there, and then that one is just that screw, that bolt there to undo. There we go. screw in the end of there as well. Fuse, it says on it. What do we think's in there? A fuse. Yeah, it looks pretty burnt out as well. Still not going to come through there, is it? So we'll chop that one off. And then that. Fuse one. Right, we'll pull those out as well. Actually that's metal as well, so I will take those off of there, but we'll do that later. That's not bad, there's not too much plastic on that then. So, 2 of those. A little bit of micro scrapping to go on later. We'll get this other one apart and see what goodies are in this one. This one's got 4 screws, 2 on each side, so that should be relatively simple. Famous last words again, and that's a different size screwdriver needed for that. Why would it be the same? Come on. It was never going to be the same, was it? That would be way too simple for anybody. And of course that one's not going to fit either, is it? Nope. Right. Think where my other screwdriver might be. I shall have to return. Hold on a sec. And we're back. This little baby did it. Right, so there's only 3 screws in there. So I'm guessing somebody's had this apart at some point. Have a look over here. Make sure there's no screws left under there, because they like to hide them behind the labels. Don't think there's anything there. Nope. I chucked those in with my aluminium. Right, hey, we've got another battery and another massive transformer. Awesome, and that's a nice board as well. Right, let's get into this. It's actually a very old board by the look of it, 'cause it's got the old style capacitors and things on it. There's a couple of screws in that, and that should come out. See, if you could get these all the time, you'd be laughing. There's a couple of decent fuses there as well. Right, is that going to lift out? No, because I've got that bit on the end still. That's the wonders of skip day, you see. You get things like this, which you wouldn't, well, certainly I wouldn't ordinarily get. People would just throw them. So I get down to skip, get there nice and early, and you get the best picks of what people bring along. Although I don't actually have any competition, so that's quite good. Right, I'm going to have to lift it out. Oh, why would you do that? A bit of leverage on that, and that hopefully will pop out of there. There we go. Got some little brassy bits in there. We'll hoof them out later on. Don't let anything go to waste. But that is plastic. Boo. Now, that's going to be the same dealio as the last one. So if we can pull those off of there. Take the battery off first. And that looks exactly the same as the other one. So I'm going to have 6.5, just over 6.5 kilos of batteries. That's exactly the same. And the transformer, is that fixed in? I would say it probably is. Let's get that off of there. Well, that come off, did they? Right, let's have a look at this board. So we've only got 2 heat sinks, but they're nice solid lumps of alley on there. We've got another 2, 3, 4 of those with the copper in. Sorry about the chicken, he's making a lot of noise. We've got some gold pins in the end there. And there'll be some gold plated pins in there. There's nothing on the back. And another heatsink there. And a lovely big IC chip. Another one just here. And that's not bad. We'll get some bits off of that. And oh, that just slides out. Oh, what a beauty. Anyone want a chicken? Well, a rooster. We ate the other one. Sorry if that's not your thing. But yeah, they were fighting so much that obviously the top chicken was making a bit of a mess of the other one. So it would have been cruel to keep them both and beating each other up all the time. So our French friend made a meal out of them. But it's kind of the circle of life. Come on, out you come. There we go. Oh, there's one more left in there. There we go. And that is a pretty much, that was a bit copper in here. In that little box on there. After a while you get used to know which ones have got the copper in and which ones are filled with resin. But that's all there is on there. So they look very similar, the two, but you can usually tell which ones are the ones with the copper in. There we go. So there's nothing on the back. And if you're really fussy, you can break those off because they're brass. So that is pretty much it. A couple of screws in there. But yeah, again, it's a case of taking those out and taking those out because they'll be brass as well. And we'll have them because we like a bit of brass. I think I actually like brass more than I do copper. But if we all like the same thing, it'd be boring, wouldn't it? Oh, that's something I missed. There is, just in here, a crystal oscillator. Nice. I like those. So I'll just pop those other bits out and then we'll finish up. Well, there we have it. That wasn't too bad. All 3 of them, we came in with 6.5 kilos on the batteries, and 3 of these lovely transformers with that gorgeous copper. We got probably get on for 5 or 6 kilos of steel. Ain't worth a diddly doodah. And some boards with some nice bits on. So some micro scrapping to go on, but that's a good evening job. And happy days. So if you see any of those about, don't pass them up because they're easy to do. And that took me all of, I don't know how long it took. I'm not sure if the battery ran out, so we'll have to see. But 25 minutes maybe. Probably more like 40 with me. But yeah, nice and easy, and you'll get some okay money out of them. So thank you for watching. Thank you to all my subscribers. Oh, the people who did our new porch. He said, "Oh, I've got something for you." So I said, oh, "Okay." And he walks in with this. See, it's called Idle Assembly, and it says premium aged rum. I don't drink rum. 43%. If I drank that, I'd be splat out for 2 days. So maybe Ian would appreciate it. Possibly. I've heard he likes a drink. Anyway, thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you for watching. And thank you for the comments and the likes. And I'm going to catch you in the next one. Keep scrapping.